What do a Cybertruck explosion at Trump Towers, New Orleans chaos on New Year's Eve, Jay-Z cutting ties with Diddy, and athletes being targeted by burglars have in common? They're all on today's episode of Breaking Down the Stories Behind the Headlines with Marcus on the mic. I'm Marcus, and we're back kicking off the new year with another fire episode where we break down the biggest stories in news, culture, and sports, raw and unfiltered. Stick around because we got some wild takes and even wilder stories coming up and what they mean for you. Alright, before we dive in to these topics, let me just say, the show too. I've been reading your comments on the videos I've been posting, and at the end of this episode, I make sure that I review your comments and answer your comments. So drop your thoughts below on any of these topics. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell so you'll know when we drop these real takes on culture, news, and everything in between. First up, this story is straight out of a movie. You know what I'm talking about? A Tesla Cybertruck explodes outside Trump Tower in Las Vegas on New Year's Day. You know, boy, these Tesla vehicles been catching a bad rap in these movies, man. But this just so happened to be real life. But tragically, ladies and gentlemen, one person lost their life and 7 others were injured. Now, authorities have been going back and forth with this story, and I'm gonna try to give you the most current information I have and what I've been gathering thus far, because this is because everybody wants information so fast that we're seeing transparency at its best. Like, people are constantly changing the story, but I'm gonna try to make sure I give you the most honest information I have at the time of the recording of this video. But authorities are saying right now that fireworks were stored. Well, authorities are saying that fireworks were stored inside the truck that caused the explosion. And there's some pictures out there where there is some fireworks and pyro or whatnot in the back of the vehicle. I'll make sure I flash it on the screen if I get it. But here's where it gets interesting, ladies and gentlemen. You know, some folks are speculating whether this was an accident or something more sinister aimed at Trump properties. Now, what do you think? Coincidence or conspiracy? All right, now I got News Nation, an article from News Nation, and here's the latest update they have. They said that the man who drove the Tesla Cybertruck that exploded outside a Las Vegas hotel was identified as Matthew Lisenberger, an Army soldier from Colorado, a law enforcement source told News Nation. All right, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department said at a news conference Thursday that Lisenberger has yet not been 100% confirmed as the person in the vehicle, all right, as his body was burnt beyond recognition. However, police tracked Lisenberger from Colorado to Las Vegas in a number of photos. They were able to determine that he was the one in the Cybertruck. In addition, Lisenberger, man, I'm murdering that dude. I'm hurting that dude's name. Had military identification and a passport on his body. Now, it goes on to say he was enlisted as an 18 X-ray, served in the active duty from January 2006 to March 2011. According to an Army spokesman, he then joined the National Guard from March 2011 through July 2012. After that, Lisenberger was in the Army Reserve until December 2012 when he entered active duty as an Army Special Operations soldier. Alright, so 18 X-ray, I believe, is like Special Forces. And, he came back into active duty around 2012. Okay, so Lisenberger was assigned to the command and on approved leave at the time of his death. USOC is in full cooperation with the federal and state law enforcement agencies, but as a matter of policy, will not comment on ongoing investigations, the spokesman said. He allegedly served in the same military base as Shadur Dim Jabbar. That is the person that is the individual that drove that truck into that crowd in New Orleans, which we're going to be talking about that in a second here. But according to the sources, the man suspected of intentionally driving to the crowd that killed 15. Las Vegas police said at a news conference that the two did not serve at the same time, though. The FBI said at a news conference Thursday that there was no definite link between the two incidents. Now, if y'all remember earlier, they were trying to connect the two. I seen some reports, and that just come from people requesting that information so fast. But there are a lot of coincidences between the two, and people are asking for this transparency, but they gotta understand that as this go on, it's gonna get peppered out. You know what I mean? They're gonna drip this out slow. I'm gonna go on here. Liv's Burger died and 7 others were injured as a result of the explosion at the entrance of the Las Vegas Trump International Hotel on Wednesday morning. Police said the act was intentional. Gas canisters, camp fuel, and firework mortars were found in the bed of the truck after the fire was extinguished. Sheriff Kevin Mihail of Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. However, police did not find any devices that would have been used to ignite the explosion and are unsure at the time how it ignited. Now, I will say that big black blanket they had, that black plastic, reminded me of, I seen this thing, it was called a Kevlar blanket before, something like that. But yeah, it looked interesting. All right, so let's see. Video footage of the incident shows the truck parked next to the hotel's front door as it burst into flames. Sources told News Nation, that the Cybertruck was rented in Colorado Springs through car-sharing company Turo. Now, Turo did release a statement. They said, we are heartbroken by the violence perpetrated in New Orleans and Las Vegas, and our prayers are with the victims and the family. They went on to say, we are actively partnering with law enforcement authorities as they investigate both incidents. We do not believe that either renter involved in the Las Vegas and New Orleans attack had a criminal background that would have identified them as a security threat. FBI Acting Special Agent in Charge Jeremy Schwartz said the car explosion was an isolated incident and there is no threat to the public. Now, that is the latest that we have, and I'll make sure I drop that link in the description. But so far, like I said, that's where we at. Situations like this always puts the community in a high sense of alertness. You can definitely see how, when it comes to what's coming up here in a few days, there's going to be a even higher heighten of security. I think the last time I've seen this type of alertness from society, meaning everybody's kind of like on pins and needles, was during the DC sniper. For people that remember, that was in DC. That was one of those times where, it was just constantly all over the news. People didn't know what was going on. And like I said, with the situation that we're going to talk about next, y'all let me know, do you think that's coincidence, or, do you actually think Trump President-elect Trump is being targeted. And moving on to a tough topic, and that is the I don't even want to give it a title, but the event that took place on New Year's Eve in New Orleans. You know, that me and my, I'm gonna deviate from the script real quick, man. Me and my pop I had called my dad on that the very next morning, having a conversation, and we got on what happened in New Orleans. You know, that night, when you look at it, it's supposed to be a night of celebration, bringing in the new year. I've seen a video. If I find it, I'll post it. But there was a video a guy posted, I believe, on Twitter. I think I seen it on X, or might have been on YouTube. But he was showing how empty the streets were in New York around Times Square. And he was showing, I think he was in a window, he was showing how there was nobody in sight. And you know, you saw all the police around the barricades, but and they did the countdown and wasn't nobody around, you know. And I was telling my dad, like, man, you would have, you know, if something was going to happen, you know, people would think that it would happen in New York, and it was a total opposite. And I think that what kind of threw everybody off. But there's been some updates. What we do know, as of this here recording, is that the New Orleans truck attack suspect, as you can see right there, this was a Fox article, what he was inspired by, the religious group that he was inspired by. It also says that at least 14 people are deceased, and a dozen injured after a driver plowed a vehicle. I'm gonna say a vehicle because judging by that video, that looks like a truck actually, into a large crowd on Canal and Bourbon Street in New Orleans in the early morning of New Year's Day. The FBI identified the suspect as Shadur Dim Jabbar. He's a U.S. citizen from Texas, an Army vet. What else here? All right. Now, this right here, based off this article, it says the FBI has said that it is investigating Wednesday attack as an act of, the big T, and does not believe Jabbar acted alone. Now, some reports are starting to say it was a lone wolf. Some saying they worked. Some, as you can see, it's conflicting. But right now, it's saying that he did not act alone. It also says that Jabari he lost his life in a brief shootout with police after crashing his vehicle. I wonder if I can do this. I'm gonna show y'all this video real quick, man. Check this video out. It's not gonna have any audio, but check out this video. Look how fast that thing came through there. Look at that. Watch that. Look how fast that vehicle coming through there. Oh my goodness, man. Now, this is a lady, this is a woman who caught I guess a security camera that caught the footage. And we scroll down here, we see images show New Orleans truck suspect working while in the Army. This is a photo of him at Fort Johnson, formerly known as Fort Polk, Louisiana, 1st Brigade Combat Team, 82nd Airborne. It looks to be he was, let me see there. Jabari, who served in the Army as a human resource. Let me highlight this. Jabari, who served in the Army as a human resource specialist and IT specialist from March 2007 to January 2015, is seen working at the Fort Johnson, formerly known as Fort Polk, Louisiana, in a photo originally released in 2013. All right. It says the following active duty, he served in the Army Reserve as an IT specialist from January 2015 until July 2020. He also deployed to Afghanistan from 2009 to 2010. It also says that, let's see, Jabbar. I'm trying to get a boy a new name. Jabbar originally enlisted in the U.S. Navy in August 2004. All right, and was discharged 1 month later from the delayed entry program. A Navy spokesman told Fox, so he didn't even show up. Right? Yeah, he never made it to recruit training command, meaning he was discharged before he can even serve in the Navy. Says there are records show that a Shadin Bahar Jabbar enlisted on August 12, 2004 in a Navy recruiting district, Houston, and was discharged from the delayed entry program 1 month later. On September 13, 2004, a Navy spokesman said he did not go to the recruiting training command. Now, this suspect, I just want to break this down for anybody who's with me so far. He had 2 jobs in the military, right? One of them was what they call a human resource specialist, which is I think they go by like 42 alphas. And then you have information technology, and it's like 74. It could be anything. One of those series, right? There used to be those. Well, anyway, he had 2 jobs in there. Now, I know people are trying to compare the two, trying to say that, they served in the same region, deploy around the same time. Hey man, it happens. You get what I'm saying? Like, that kind of thing happened. All right, but from the time he deployed, like they say, he deployed in August. He deployed to Afghanistan in February 2009 and 2010. Okay, that means at that time, depending on which job he had first, I'm assuming the article is going in the way, his job is, but it could be it could be that he came in as a human resource specialist because he came in March in 2007. So from 2009 to 2010, he couldn't have changed jobs that fast. You got to hold a job for so long. And so he didn't go over there as an IT. And it's not likely that he went over there as IT. He probably went over there as a human resource specialist, right? And then probably somewhere in the midst of his career, probably toward the end, maybe. Last couple years, he decided to get a new job. They call it reclass. And he probably switched over to an IT and then got out and then converted back over to, came back in the reserves as an IT. But the thing about it is both jobs require one thing, and that's a security clearance. All right, now, this suspect caused some horrific events to take place in a lot of people's lives. And, my heart goes out to those that lost people there. It's a sad ordeal. I saw the videos on X. And I gotta tell you, in my 20-something years of my profession, which I'm retired from, there were situations where you see things and, man, you can't unsee them. And they stick with you. And it makes you aware. It makes you very cautious about large gatherings. And, you don't want to turn to one of them people, man, where you don't want to go nowhere, turn into a hermit. You know what I mean? You don't want to go nowhere. You don't want to do nothing. And you don't want to, as a society, you don't want to get to that point. But you definitely have to be aware of your surroundings. And before we continue to talk about this, let me finish talking about this, and I got a story. If I get to the story, I get to the story. But, now we have the FBI involved, and they are calling it, the T word. They've found out the FBI is searching a Houston location. I'm going to read this here. It says investigators are learning more about the man who drove a pickup truck into a New Orleans crowd, like I say. And authorities are linking the two. Like I said, Texas resident, reservist, deployed in 2009 to Afghanistan. President Biden said the FBI does not believe Jabbar acted alone and has directed the U.S. intelligence community to work extensively to complete their investigation. Jabbar's brother told the New York Times that Jabbar converted to Islam at a young age, but that is the act was not religious based, but radicalization. He said the president also said authorities were looking into any possible connections with an explosion outside Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Like I said earlier, vehicles in both incidents were rented from the platform Turo, which also allow car owners to rent out their vehicles. Don't know if now you can call that a coincidence for sure. Now, as we switch gears to sports, y'all know I did a video not too long ago about the FBI has been busy, and crime has been very on the rise in this country lately if you haven't paid attention. And if y'all didn't know, the FBI just dropped a warning to all the pro athletes. Right? Apparently, there's been a sting of home burglaries targeting players like Patrick Mahomes, Luka Doncic, while they're traveling for games. These crews are organized. They're watching social media posts and schedules like hawks. And if you're an athlete and you listening right now, here's what I would tell you. Lock your stuff up. But get a dog. Definitely you should get an alarm system. I understand insurance you can't replace those things, but if I were you, I would definitely get some security for sure. And if you got some, you get some dogs or get a dog. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what. It ain't like they gonna stop posting the games. And, if anything, you can just stop posting and showing off your lifestyle, letting everybody say me. Yeah, we want inspiration. We're all inspired by, what could be if you chase that type of, existence. Don't get me wrong. People, we like stuff. And some people can get a little bit, too comfortable with showing off their stuff. I remember Tupac back in the day used to talk about how Stuff happen in phases to where next thing you know, they at your door, picking your lock, coming in, holding the, if you a rap here, you know what I'm talking about. All right, digressing. Getting back to it. ABC News reported right before the New Year about all these home burglars of these pro athletes. All right, and I believe the most recent one, if I'm not mistaken, is Luka Doncic. Let me see. Let me get back in this article. In a string of robberies, burglars have recently targeted the homes of Kansas City Chiefs star Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, and like I said, Luka Doncic is the most recent one. In addition, the home of the NBA guard Mike Conley Jr. and Bobby Portis have been burglarized. The FBI does not specifically note or reference to any of these incidents. According to the FBI, organized theft groups from South America conduct physical and technical surveillance in preparation for these burglaries using public available information and social media to identify a pattern of life for a prospective victim. They often know in advance where valuables are kept in home. Oh, they do? I wonder how they know where they're... Could this be self-inflicted? I don't know. You let me know in the comments. How far do you go? We always talking about our rights and our privacy, and here we are allowing ourselves to be, kind of tricked into showing a little bit too much. I don't know. Something to ponder over. Let me keep it going. All right, now these preparational tactics enable the theft groups to conduct burglaries in a short amount of time. Organized theft groups bypass alarm systems, use Wi-Fi jammers to block Wi-Fi connections, and disable devices, cover security cameras, and obscure their identity, the FBI said. So everything I said before they were doing, and it's still not working. They ain't say nothing about a dog, though. Or somebody be at the house, you don't really put them in harm's way, do you? That's tricky, y'all. Notice how they say South America. They don't want to call that gang out. They don't want to use their name, boy, but you know who they are. And President-elect Trump said that, they had a plan. I wonder,